I don't know when I've felt so good or confident about a decision as the appointment this morning of Senator Connie Lawson as Indiana's new Secretary of State. I doubt the state has ever been served by someone better prepared for her duties than Connie will be. You can read this in her bio, but as a leading local official of the state, a clerk, the top elections official, so honored more than once by her colleagues, and then a distinguished career in the state Senate, including chairman of the Elections Committee, as well as the local government committee. She is just superbly ready for these duties, and I'm just so proud for the opportunity to appoint her to them. I have to say that she'll be a loss in the Senate. Connie's been a leader and a really trusted ally. She's been on the point of local government reform, for instance, and the cleanup of nepotism and conflict of interest in this session was just her latest achievement in that respect. But I'm really happy for her and for Indiana that she is stepping up to the third-ranking job in state government. I've asked her longtime friend, Becky Skillman, to perform or to give the oath of office. It's a great story of Becky and Connie started as clerks together, later in the Senate together, then in Senate leadership together, and so they're pals from way back. I do have to tell you that Connie is all her achievements, including today, just never change her. When I called her yesterday to ask if she'd take this job, she was a little busy. Her son's dog, she was dog sitting, got loose, and she was petrified she wouldn't get him back. Meanwhile, her mom got locked out of her house 5 miles away, and she had to go rescue her from that. But Connie, all that says is that you're as Hoosier as they come, and that's just another reason you're going to be great in this job. And I thank you very much for being willing to take it. Madam Lieutenant Governor.
I feel like the proud sister today. Jack? I, Connie Lawson, do solemnly swear.
I, Connie Lawson, do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully discharge the duties
that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Secretary of State
of the office of Secretary of State
and will support the Constitution of the United States
and will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations, Madam Secretary. Well, thank you, Governor Daniels. So I guess this means this family spring break trip may be off for right now. Okay. Okay. But seriously, thank you, Governor Daniels, for placing your trust in me to serve as Indiana's Secretary of State. And although it's sad to think of leaving the Senate and no longer serving the constituents in Senate District 24 the way I have for the last 15 and a half years, I will be serving them in a different way. And so, to my friends and colleagues in the Senate on both sides of the aisle, I've been fortunate to have served with each and every one. I consider all of them dear friends. And to Senator David Long, who I know is here in the audience and I'm not going to look at, working beside you as your majority floor leader has been an opportunity for which I will always be grateful. I will certainly miss working with you. And Jan, you have been an awesome legislative assistant. Thank you for your help. To my family, who obviously is here, my husband Jack, our son Brandon, and our daughter Kylie, and their beautiful families, I have to thank them for putting up with me and my schedule. Since 1988, the first time I ran for elected office, we have been juggling family events, holiday celebrations, and all sorts of things, but it always seemed to work out. So thank you for your continued support and patience. Today, I am honored This new opportunity to serve all Hoosiers, Republicans and Democrats, across the state is a responsibility that I take very seriously. The Office of Secretary of State serves a variety of functions which include regulating the securities industry in Indiana to protect investors and consumers, chartering new businesses, and overseeing elections. Having served as Circuit Court Clerk and also as Chair of the Senate Elections and Local Government Committees, I believe that I will bring a unique perspective to the work of the Election Division and how our office impacts the work of many across the state. I look forward to getting started, meeting the dedicated men and women in the various divisions of the office, and working with them to ensure that the Secretary of State's office is as efficient and effective as it can be. Over the next few weeks, we will work together to assess current systems, policies, and procedures, and we will move quickly to make any possible improvements and strengthen the office. Before I conclude, I want to thank Jerry Bonnet, who has served as Interim Secretary of State. He's done a great service for all of us, and there are many people who applaud his work, and I am grateful for his service during this transition. Thank you.
I do want to, before Connie takes your questions, I do want to add my own thanks to Jerry Bonnet, who's here somewhere, and all the staff there. They really performed, as far as I know, superbly throughout, under less than optimal circumstances. So the public's been well served, and that was important. And so, Jerry, you're a great professional. Please convey our thanks to all those who worked with you while we waited for this situation to be resolved.
Why give up the Senate and take the job in the executive branch?
Well, as I said, I'm honored that the governor asked me to do that. I believe that I will continue to serve my constituents, but in a different way, as I said. It's an opportunity that I never dreamt that I would have, but I'm fortunate to be able to serve.
Did you ever consider running for this office before you got this call from the governor?
Not really. When the office was up the last time, the economy wasn't the best in the world, and our family business is a real estate, auctioneering, and appraising business, and the economy wasn't great, so I wasn't going to put my family through that type of a campaign.
Do you think there's any damage control that has to be done in the office after the Charlie White situation?
Well, the process is over. It's been a long process, and so, we'll see. I have asked a longtime Hendricks County friend and resident, Kelly Wagoner, to help me with the transition process. So we'll be putting a team together, and we'll assess that.
What do you think about some people's concerns or questioning of whether this is really an office in which you're involved with elections? Do you consider it the state's top election official, and do you act accordingly?
I do consider the Secretary of State to be the chief election officer. You know, when I was county clerk, I worked directly with Brad King, the election division, and so yes, I know intimately, in fact, that the Secretary of State is the chief election officer.
Have you given any thought, Senator, to the possibility that Charlie White could win a criminal appeal and be reinstalled?
Well, I would say this. It's been a long process, and I'm going to focus on moving the office of the Secretary of State forward. And one thing we need to keep in mind, it's time to do that. We have a primary election in 53 days in a major election cycle.
Do you think that, as chief election officer, that maybe it's time for Indiana maybe should have clarified some of its residency rules? We look at what's happening with Senator Lugar. We get one opinion from the Indiana Elections Division, another one from the Marion County Election Board. That might be something the Secretary of State's office looks at, just to make the rules a little bit more clear, concise, so we don't have this sort of back and forth.
That might be possible. My understanding of the Senator Lugar situation is that there have been several attorneys general opinions saying that Senator Lugar has continued to serve his country and that his residency is not in question, and including the Bipartisan Election Commission for the state. And obviously the Election Commission will look at any complaints that are filed in the future.
Do you anticipate running for election in 2014?
I think it's too early to say that, but what I do plan to do is to position myself to run if I decide that I would like to.
When did you take the call from the governor, and did you immediately say yes?
When did I take the call from the governor? Actually, the governor called me yesterday. We chatted briefly, but not really. I would say that until the decision came down from the Supreme Court yesterday, I was unsure what was going to happen. And so the governor and I chatted yesterday.
When you weren't chasing dogs.
When I wasn't chasing dogs and letting my mom, put my mom back in her house.
Governor, when did you settle or start thinking that Connie Lawson would be your pick? How long ago was that, and did you consider any other names while you were making your decision?
Sure, I considered other names, but Connie's was the first name I thought of, and there was never really a rival. I just look at her credentials for this job, look at her reputation for legislative integrity. Like Becky, she's well regarded on both sides of the aisle. I don't know a single legislator in either party who doesn't think well of Connie and find her easy to work with. So, sure, it's been a long time, as Connie said, and that gave us a lot of time to rack our brains to see if there was a comparable choice, but I never came up with one.
Who are some of the other folks you were considering?
Well, it wouldn't be fair to them to say.
Did you go so far as to talk to anyone else, or just leave it alone?
I talked to people who might offer new ideas and solicited suggestions from other people, and I absolutely guarantee you that each person, if I floated Connie's name, said, well, it'd be hard to do better than that. So I got a lot of affirmation for my own instinct.
So who would like to see you replace yourself in the Senate?
Well, today I'm focused on the Secretary of State's office and moving that office forward. Obviously, I'll work with the Republican Party officials during the caucus, and we'll make sure we have a good person representing that district.
Governor, I want to ask you about the NBC group. Did you realize that they did not make that decision based on my report?
Well, I thought it was misreported. You know, the fellow retracted a statement, and which he made multiple times. He edited the press release and was asked several times, "You sure? You sure? You sure?" And but listen, I don't. I understand, and I don't hold it against them. People, you won't find a business. I haven't found one who doesn't think, including him, who doesn't think this is a really good step forward for Indiana's economy. But many of them, most of them, for the most natural reasons, are shy about talking about it in public. They don't want to be subject to reprisal or intimidation. So we're just going to leave it where it sits. We're glad he's here. We're proud of that the business picked Indiana over other states.
He signed off on the statement, but he also said when he corrected himself on the statement that he was still, in fact, he had not made that decision based on my report. He said the statement was...
Well, I went back and asked, of course, and there are just multiple occasions in which he confirmed that that would be something he did want to mention. He changed his mind later. That's okay. Anything else? Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.